Hi, this is Carmina, and I, of course, in my last video, I was showing finished dresses, finished garments, finished things that I have cut out already or sewn. But in this video, I want to show a little of the process. And right now I have something folded salvage to salvage, and with the folded edge being where I'm going to have the pattern piece placed. So it's placed here already, and it is a sideless surcote. I'm going to be making a sideless surcoat and a wool dress, and hopefully I will be able to complete it within the next few months. And you will see a video clip of me wearing it in my trusty mirror. This is damask velvet. I'm pretty sure damask velvet existed around the Renaissance era between the 14th and 15th century. I'm going for late 14th century, and I'm hoping this sideless surcoat will fit in with that time period. I'm going to be lining it with red linen, and I have some in the chair down there. But right now, we're going to go through the whole process of cutting this fabric and getting it all together so I can start my hand sewing. And this is going to be an entirely hand sewn project with maybe, nope, entirely hand sewn. Because right now, my sewing machine is out of commission, so I have to make do. But here we go. We're going to start with this skirt, and the skirt starts from the bottom of the hip. It is about 39 inches from the hip down to the floor. So that's so I have extra hem length for a hem. And I will be cutting this off right here. For those of you who are a fan of velvet, this actually came from Etsy at a pretty reasonable price when it was on sale, and I do love it. It is spectacular. So if you would like to have some, I recommend checking out Etsy for damask velvets. This is a heavier velvet, which I thought was more period. They had heavier velvets back then, and right now velvets are a little flimsy in some cases, especially silk velvets. So this heavier velvet with a polyester content actually imitates the heavy silk velvets you would have found back then. It's not exactly accurate because of the polyester, but I still really, really love it. So that's why I chose it. So we're going to start by angling this. And we're gonna give me, I'm gonna give myself a ½ inch or a whole inch of seam allowance going up here. And I can kind of eyeball it, you know. My trusty scissors are doing a good job gnawing through this fabric. I'll also be cutting gores for this, but I did not make a pattern piece for the gores because I'm pretty good at drafting them right on the fabric. I usually make self-drafted patterns. I don't like commercial patterns anymore, simply for the fact that they're not always fitting correctly. And I really love the joy, I guess it's the pride of feeling like you've really made something unique by making your own pattern, you know. But for those of you who like patterns, who fit patterns better than what you can draft, all power to you. I think it's great either way. Sewing's a wonderful craft, and it's a really great thing to get involved in. I'm cutting both layers. Yeah, I am. Okay, let's lower this down. Not messing up the grain. And I will be pausing for a moment because I have to let the dog in. But I will be finished cutting out this panel in a moment. I'm having to do this at an odd angle because I'm too lazy to go around the other side. And then we have one panel done. And the back panel will be pretty much the same except maybe a higher neckline. Okay, now I will be cutting the gores, and a quick way of doing this without drawing on your fabric is just to use a tape measure that's stiff like this, and this old tape measure does a really good job. So I'm going to be just cutting along this line. And the gores, since this is a directional pattern, you want to make sure that the direction of the pattern is all facing the same way on your gores. So since I decided to put this point down with this floral piece pointing down, I have to do the same thing on the gores or else it would look funny. And also this is velvet, so it has a direction, it has a nap. And you always make sure that velvet is cut with the nap going the correct direction. And it's even more vital to do this when you have a pattern on your velvet. So if you get printed velvet, for instance, and it's a directional pattern, you've got to be extra careful and buy extra yardage just in case. Now there's 7 yards of this fabric, so I'm pretty sure I'm safe here. Making sure I have enough, and using the scraps for facings and bindings and gores, so not much of it will get wasted and it'll get reused. I'm just eyeballing this angle. And I like a square end on my gores because I like to set them in a little differently. You know, it's up to you how you want to do it. But I prefer to do it this way because when you set it in, it's just easier. You have more to grip with the needle. piece should fit. And it does. The way I'm making this gore piece is I'm making it a little not come up to my waist because I wanted the sides to fit my hips. This has been drafted so it fits my hips exactly. So if I add extra width to the sides by making the gores extend all the way up, it would no longer fit me because it would be too large. So I have this drafted and it looks like it's gonna fit just right and look like I can just about piece that in there. So that is the front with the two side gores, or one side gore done. Actually, these two will be sewn together to make one larger gore right here. And having the square top gives you seam allowance at the top, and not a lot of people think of that. So well, it's time to unpin this. Just a moment while I get rearranged. Okay, I almost have the second piece cut out.
Are you recording?
Yes. And my friend wanted to ask a question, so she did. Anyways, I would like to show you how I've decided to go ahead and cut this as the front piece, because this piece is actually shorter and it's more floor length, and the back piece would have more of a train. So since they're reversible, I could flip-flop them. I decided to do that and make this the front piece. And my decision is based on the fact that I don't have as much fabric as I thought. I thought I was going to make both of them the same length, and they ended up both being different lengths. So we'll just make do. This copper gold stuff, this velvet is $38 a yard on Etsy. I don't know how to send links, so I don't know how to set up links on my video descriptions. Really, I'm still learning how to do this, and it's a work in progress. Now again, I'm tempted to put the gore this way, but then it would be upside down in the pattern. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draft the gore, so with the help of this trusty tape measure, and we're going to put it up here at the top. Cut it this way. A lot of you might think this is conspicuous wastage, but really I think it's proper sewing technique. And conspicuous wastage was a sign of your wealth. If you were able to do something like a princess seam gown or use velvet for an entire dress, you were wealthy. And it was a status mark, you know. And I kind of wanted to make myself into a fancy medieval lady, so that's what I'm doing. So we will put the scraps there. As much as I'd like to center this design here in the middle, I don't think that's feasible, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this the way it is. If you're wondering how to keep your fabric from moving, I'm just holding it down, but this fabric is so heavy and so stiff, it kind of holds itself in place for the most part. It's not really that slippy. And we'll trim me up here. And that is the outside of the sideless surcote. So we will get these pieces together. I think I should fold the gores together. If you want a close-up look at this velvet, that's what it looks like. We'll just get these gores together. So there'll be 2 side gores. I don't know if I'll do a back. We'll see. I don't think I have enough to do a back. Surprisingly, there's very little waste in this. There's about 4 pieces of these half circle pieces left, which would be perfect for making a hat or a purse, I do say, if I do say so myself. And this for making the straps of the purse. And that is all for this fabric. I will pause and I will show you the rest of the fabric in a moment. Hello everyone, this is Carmina and I'm back with you, and apparently I wasn't going anywhere because now we have some extremely expensive wool. This wool is just like a baby to me, although someone else gave birth to it. It is actually very expensive. It came from England in a wool specialty shop or a fabric specialty shop, and I don't know if you can get this in the States, but I faint to tell you the price, so I won't. But It is only 3.5 yards, and I'm going to try to cram an entire medieval dress out of this for myself. And it's going to be a challenge. From what I understand, this is only my shoulder height to hem height. There is no wiggle room. There is no room for mistakes, and I might have to piece the sleeves. So we're going to see how this works out. So first of all, these are my pattern pieces that I self-drafted. This is the back, and I made it from heavy construction paper. So it's a good body block thing to have, good thing to have body block making skills. And here is the front. This fabric is folded in half twice, so it's really 4 times as big as what you're seeing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it in half down this fold here, just along there, so we have 2 pieces to put the two panels each on each side. And I think it's gonna work. Watch and learn. Or watch and watch me fail. I don't think I'll fail. I think I'll be fine. But this is close my eyes. Ooh. It's kind of funny cutting this up. It cuts really well. It's very soft. I do recommend, if you're able to travel and get wool in other countries like England or Italy or Ireland, you should really try and do it, because the difference in the quality is substantial. This stuff is light and thin, but warm and soft, and I really am excited to make a dress out of it. So we're gonna fold this piece up here, put it at the end. And what do you think is the most important piece to do first? The back or the front? I think the front. You can face somebody and talk to them, but as long as you don't turn around, you don't have to be dressed in the back. So that's what I think. Okay. Since we have no room for error, I will have to locate a pin or a paperweight. Oh, there's one over here. Apparently, Mr. Puppers cannot find a pin. Can you, Mr. Puppers? I don't think that's gonna pin the fabric. My friend tried to find me a writing pen.
Not a writing pen. She needs a stick pen.
There's some on the couch.
Okay.
Anyways, that was funny. I am also not too worried because I'm planning on adding an extension to the hem on this. So this will be interesting. Okay. Thank you very much, my assistant, my lovely, lovely assistant.
You're very welcome.
Okay, let's see if we can get a pin through this tough paper. Now, since this paper is so stiff, I only really need 2 pins. And this is a wool twill, so it's kind of stretchy. I'm worried what it'll do when I dry clean it, because I haven't treated it yet and I'm not. I try to avoid washing wool, but with the linen lining and with the fact that it will be an outermost garment, I haven't needed to launder my other wool dress. We'll see about this one. The problem is I was so afraid of shrinkage, and I only have so much, so I was so scared that it would make it. Ooh, yeah. So from hip to actually having enough hem length, let me see. Yeah, I think I'll just barely make it. There is a bit of extra, but hopefully I can tape hem this, which is a method of hemming a garment with using less seam allowance. And or hem allowance, I mean, at the bottom. And I forget my widths whenever I am focused, so we'll see what this expensive wool can do. My family actually bought me this wool while they were on vacation in Europe, in England actually. I think it was in Glasgow. And I already made a mistake. I cut it too close and I forgot this does not have seam allowance on the pattern. But it's salvageable. I'm giving myself a full ½ inch of seam allowance roughly all the way around. This will be lined in linen. I'm thinking about flat lining it now since I made that mistake. But with it, the advantage to it being flat lined is you have a little extra help on one side. And when you have that extra seam allowance from the other piece without it showing through to the fashion side of the garment, you can really get it secured in there. Okay. Looks like I can make a gore from that. I don't think there'll be any wastage from this dress. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to piece the sleeves. And I don't think there'll be much for gores. I'm pretty disappointed. But that's the way it goes when you send. Well, I'm not gonna badmouth anybody. But yeah, this stuff was a Christmas gift, so I'm so grateful, but it's so tough getting a whole dress. And just like Ellen Aberson tried to make a dress from 2 meters, this is 3.5. So you should be able to get a dress from it, but notwithstanding my size, and I'm plus size, so I needed a little bit more. And so that's why this is going to be difficult. But maybe I can make it short sleeved and we'll see if that'll work. And I can make the lower half of my sleeve out of the linen. That might actually work. So this piece is cut. Now for the gores. There's one gore panel. There we go. Enough for a short sleeve here. I'm not complaining. But after cutting that much, I think I can get a piece sleeve out of this, which might be interesting if I can get it correct. I don't know. Most people's arms would fit in some of this fabric, but mine do not because I have 20-inch biceps. So I'm going to attempt to cut another gore out. I would have done much better with 4 yards, but this fabric was, and also they had to fit in the carriage, the baggage carriage, or the baggage on the way home. Okay, so straight grain, 2, bias grain. And that is another gore. Right there. These will be the side gores.
And that's all.
And we only have enough on this side left over for a short sleeve. Like this. Which I can deal with. I think it needs to wrap around my arm. Probably. Well, actually, I don't know. Might be able to do the sleeve cuff style that I wanted to do and have these be the sleeves that I wanted. Straight sleeves might be an option since I'm going to attach the cuff separately and line this. So stay tuned for that. I will be showing the process on and off, but maybe not me actually sewing. It depends on whether I can borrow my friend's apparatus again. And I just now noticed this is not high enough. That's funny. So, yes, me being the messy unicorn that I am, I forgot to put the phone up higher. So, no wastage. No wastage on this dress. This will be one sleeve. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out this sleeve. Now my sleeve pattern is quite large. But since I can do a straight sleeve and then I tend to call them tourniquet sleeves, and it's where you attach the button cuff facing the back of the arm separately with different fabric, and you go ahead and make a straight sleeve for the top with the normal modern bump. And even though that's maybe not period, it seems to be practical for this solution because of the fact that I don't have a lot of fabric. So we will kind of guesstimate this, which guesstimating is never good. I don't recommend doing this, but I know the size of my arm and I have experience making sleeves for myself. So I'm just gonna trim this down. And there is 1/2 of a sleeve, not a whole sleeve. And these are the only wastage. Yay. And so much for my sleeve pattern. this situated. At least I'll have a very full skirt because I think there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. There might be 4 gores on this side, which is exciting. And this is, in case you can't see the fabric, I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to show it to you. A little sample over here. It's lost. It was chosen as you can see, it's got these little flecks of gold in it, and it's a really deep one, rich green. So I'm excited. And then we have ourselves some facing strips. And I'll cut the back panel, and that will be the green wool. Okay, I have switched over to the back panel actually, the back panel of the dress, and I'm trying to line this up appropriately. I think that'll work. Now this one, I won't make that mistake again. I'll make sure to give myself good seam allowance all the way around, and I won't cut it too close. Now under the arm here, I made a bump out for extra bust curve. So I want to make sure to do that. And if I don't like it, I think I can take it out. Probably lessen it a bit. And again, I have 2 small gores along the selvage. Which will make 1 big gore. And I also decided to raise the back neckline because I noticed that a lot of kirtles for middle class or merchant class ladies that were wealthy, they didn't really always show a lot of their back. I've seen manuscripts where some of them are lower than others, some of them are higher than others. Most of the time the back is completely covered. So I've seen those on YouTube mostly. you're wondering about the cap I'm making, it's a St. Birgitta cap in progress. I'm working on the fit, and this is the first one I've ever made. I'm hoping to embroider it and put straps on it so it stays on even better. See where this cord needs to start is at the waist. And now we have another sleeve and another set of gores. I will say this is quite interesting because I think I have enough to piece a cuff on the outside. So this would be the upper sleeve attached in a straight manner, like a straight sleeve, and then the other sleeve part would be the extra layer for the cuffs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And that would make a full-length sleeve right there. And I believe this is the only wastage. And I didn't cut any facing pieces from these gores, so I'll have to use the strips that I already cut. And I think I just made a complete plus size dress from 3.5 yards of fabric, which is an accomplishment. I'll let you know how the sewing process goes. I do have to piece the sleeve, but it's going to be amazing. And next I'm going to cut the lining, which just requires me to lay these pieces over the top and cut them out, which shouldn't be hard. I'm going to take a break, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and for the lining, I'm using this red linen, which is awesome. Yes, coral colored, goes good with the green. And I got it on Amazon for $12 a yard. It's Japan Nature linen, and it's extremely inexpensive for linen, but it makes excellent lining. So if you want this, just look up Japan Nature linen and you'll find exactly what you're looking for. It comes in a few different colors: red, yellow, ochre, brown, green. I'm pretty sure there's a purple too. and there's also a deep blue, which is indigo dyed. So, thank you. Bye.